us. I'm Paul Wilson, and you're listening to Diesel Performance Podcast. Guys, we got a great show for you today. I'm really excited to have another UCC competitor on. We'll be speaking with Morey here in just a moment. Before we do, I wanted to give a quick shout-out to our sponsors, Calibrated Power, home of DuramaxTuner.com. Hey, that's where I work full-time. It's a great place to be. We have amazing products, custom tuning, all emissions equipped, a lot of 50-state tuning available as well as stealth turbochargers and built Allison transmissions. So if you're looking for anything for your truck and we can help you out, definitely give a shout over to Chris Emke. That's Chris, E-H-M-K-E. Chris Emke, his extension is 2121. He'll be able to help you out with anything you need. Of course, we also want to say thank you to WC Fab. We love working with the boys over at Worley. They make great parts. They have awesome powder coating. They're a great group of guys to work with. Just hands down, good stuff all the way around. Same could be said about Exergy Performance. Exergy has been with us since the start. We really appreciate Exergy. We run Exergy products in all of our own trucks, all of our customer trucks. That is who we primarily use because we love the consistency and we love the quality. It's something that we can rely on every single time. And last but not least is XDP, your one-stop shop for diesel performance. XDP has been in the game a very long time. They're definitely a wide catalog. So if you're looking for absolutely anything for your truck, truck accessory, a go-fast part, a look-good part, it doesn't really matter. XDP is going to be able to get you squared away. All right, now that I've paid the bills, let's dive into it. Morey, how the hell are you?
Hey, man, I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Morey, for those that don't know, why don't you tell us a little bit about how you got your start in diesel performance?
Yeah, so I got my start when, I think we were probably 16. A buddy of mine bought a 12 valve, and we didn't know anything about them, had no idea, and he started doing a bunch of research into them and how he could make them faster and quicker. And I mean, we're talking about a 12 valve, but at 16, we thought it was the fastest thing out there. And so, he was building it, doing some things here and there, and I'd always wanted to get a diesel truck, could never really get one. And then when I got out of high school and started working, I bought my first Dmax. It was an 04 LB7. And I didn't know, I really honestly at that time didn't know anything about it besides I put an Edge programmer on it. And within the first 30 miles that I had it on there, I smoked the trans. Well, I put it in limp mode, I guess.
Oh, no.
Took out the trans. I had no idea what it was. I was like, I was calling my buddies, and they're like, hey, man, just shut the truck off and leave it for a while. It'll come out. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I continued to do that. Every time it would limp, I guess I just got to shut it off.
Oh, no.
And then I started learning into it. I started learning what it was that was making these things function and what it was that was making them move and the parts in them. And then the injectors went out. Typical LB7 stuff, right?
Sure.
So we put a set of Dynamite Diesel 150 horsepower injectors in it. And, man, I thought I was the baddest dude on the street.
You still had a stock trans at this point?
Yes.
All right,
Yep.
all right. I'm with you.
Still had the stock trans. And then I ended up putting a S366 on it. So then I really thought I was cool because I put an aftermarket turbo and we had to do a pedestal and all this cool stuff to it. And all my buddies were just impressed. Everybody wanted to go for a ride. So I could only get them for a good ride from about third to fourth. And then I have to get out of it because that 4 or 5 shift, everybody's like, what happened? Nothing. It's fine. And I'll be honest, I'd never put a built trans in that truck. I never put a trans in it.
Oh, my goodness.
We just kept sending it on that same poor trans, and then I cracked a piston in it.
Oh.
So we sent it down the road. Found a guy that wanted to buy it. I sent it away. And my dad was like, hey, maybe you should go to a Dodge. I see all these Dodge guys, and they're making power, and, well, you got to buy 2 less parts. Not knowing that, no, it's the same price. It's the same price. Whether I buy 8 or 6, it's the same cost.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the truth of it.
So yeah, then got into a Dodge for a little bit. Not a fan. Not a fan.
What Dodge did you have?
So I bought a 6.7. I got a 2010 Mega Cab that we ran around with for a little bit.
Okay.
And then it was fun. It was a lot of fun. It was a G56 truck. So I thought that was really cool. That was the eye opener. That was like I was like, man, I can shift everywhere. And
yeah, the old gear jammer. All you need is a clutch, right?
Yeah, we put a clutch in it. I put a South Bend clutch in it. It had a H&S Mini Max on it. We did ATS's Add a Turbo kit.
Okay.
A set of industrial injectors in it. And it was a fun truck. It was an absolute blast to drive around on the street.
What didn't you like about it?
It wasn't a Duramax. I'll be 100% honest with you. I truly enjoyed a Duramax. I didn't think that it was very comfortable to drive in. It was loud and obnoxious. That got old real quick. And I kind of wanted to get back into one. And I got lucky. I had a buddy that had bought this truck from Georgia or Alabama, and he brought it all the way back. And he did a couple things to it, and he just lost complete interest in it. It was a built motor Duramax.
Who loses interest in a built motor Duramax?
Yeah, it already had it all set up, and I would drive by his house. He lived kind of out of town from where I'm from, and I could always see it sticking out of his shed. His little barn that he had, it was just a bumper that was sticking out. Finally, I called him. I said, "What are we doing with this thing?" He's like, "I don't know, man. I really probably just want to sell it. Nothing's wrong with it. I don't have the passion I used to have for it." And I said, "Well, what's the price?" And he gave me the price, and I showed up. It was about a week later with a check, and that's probably where the deep drive and passion began for me, was get into something that I wasn't worried about breaking, and I just wanted to have a blast with it, man. And that's kind of where it was. We started out with it had some 60 over injectors in it. It had a 72 millimeter VGT from Danville, a Suncoast built trans. The motor, come to find out later on, wasn't as built as what I originally was told it was, but it never left me stranded.
Okay. What year was that?
That was 2016.
Okay. That's not that long ago for us old guys.
No, it really isn't, actually. And the only thing we really had on the West Coast, I'm from, I guess we'll start where I'm from. I'm from a small town in Wyoming.
Aren't all the towns in Wyoming small?
Yeah, okay, you got me on that one. I think our biggest, we call it a city, right? And I think our biggest city is like 400,000 people.
Sure.
And that to us is a city.
Yeah, it's not country. I'll give you that. Sure.
Yes. So, we really had a blast with the truck, just driving around town. I drove it to work. I was in the oil field. I drove it every 2 weeks to North Dakota or to Nevada or wherever I had to go to work. I drove it there all winter long. And I think that's probably the coolest thing, is that truck had never left me stranded.
Wow, yeah. Yeah, that's a big note for a truck. Now, did you get in any competition back then?
Yes. So we got into the Diesel Power Challenge was a huge thing. I think for everybody, and almost most of it now, everybody knows a Diesel Power Challenge, or either has been in Diesel Power Challenge or they tried for Diesel Power Challenge.
Sure.
So I guess we'd fast forward a little bit. I did a bunch of the dyno circuits, like following the Superflow around with Cody and Omer. I got to win a couple of dyno events. with it. The truck made right at like 1,000 horsepower on fuel.
Oh, nice.
And that was the best part. Is I would drive the truck home.
Sure.
It was awesome. And then I got told one time, they said, "Man, you never drive your dyno truck to the event." And I was like, "Why? That's weird." So I guess I'll rewind on what I said. I guess I can't say it left me stranded, but I lost a dual fueler controller on the way home.
Oh, okay.
And so it spiked rail.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what to do. I was on the side of the interstate. I was like, "Oh, man." So I got a ride into town and bought a stock belt and put a factory belt on it and basically just unplugged the dual fueler controller and drove it 4 hours home.
Sure.
Got home, ordered a new one, had the truck running, 2 days later.
That's so cool.
And then I ended up applying. We went to, I guess, what year did Diesel Pro? 2020, I think, the year COVID hit when they canceled it. We were in the runnings for Diesel Power Challenge.
Oh, really?
Yep. We were in the runnings for it. And that's when I decided, hey, man, we should probably pull this motor out and refresh it. I've been beating on it forever. The last known paperwork I have of the motor was 2011.
Yeah.
Probably should, give it a good little eye-opening on it. So we opened it up, and it was nothing of what it was supposed to be.
Oh, no.
It had a set of rods in it, and that was it. It had stock pistons with what looked like somebody had taken a Dremel at home and cut valve reliefs into the pistons. I was like, wow. So we ended up getting a built motor in it. Diesel Power Challenge was canceled. COVID hit. There was nothing going on for that year. So I was like, you know what? We have a whole year. Let's just get a motor together. Let's take our time. We'll get it right. Well, I don't really think that's the plan, right? But that's never how it works. It's always you start getting parts and you're like, let's go.
Sure.
So
I mean, once you buy the bigger injectors,
hiccups.
you need everything, right?
Yep. And we decided to put a single on it and try out putting, with a big single charger. I guess it was an 80 millimeter.
I'd call that a big
around on
single.
that.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it just doesn't. I feel like nowadays it's not a big single. I feel like nowadays you have people that drive around on 80s. Like that's their daily driver truck.
Yeah, I had a dog that liked to walk backwards once. I wouldn't say it was normal, but, he did it.
That's fair. So then we ended up putting big compounds on the truck. I put a 83 in the Valley and 106 millimeter on the Atmosphere. And we decided, hey, there's not many Duramaxes that have ever made 2,000 horsepower. We should let's go for it. Let's try and make 2K out of this thing. And so that was the push. That was the next giant push was, what can we do to make 2,000? Well, more fuel and more nitrous. I love nitrous. First time I ever sprayed nitrous on the dyno, Cody actually ran up there and opened my hood and cut my nitrous wires.
Oh, no.
He said, because it was on a watt switch. And we were trying to bring the truck up, and it kept kicking it off. It kept kicking nitrous, just trying to bring the truck up, kept backfiring. And I'm like, what is going on? And Cody just popped the hood, and he just cut the nitrous wires. He's like, we'll rig you up a button later, and we'll spray it again later. I was like, all right, that sounds good. So we ended up rigging a button up and actually blew the converter. We blew through the converter and hurt the trans on that pole. So we were like, well, I think I should probably do some more research into what this nitrous stuff actually does and how it acts.
What do you mean? What more research is there? It makes it go fast. Done.
That's what I thought. I thought, man, you just hit the button, right? And it does its own thing. So it was quite a learning curve for a lot of it. And the shop I was working for at the time, because I'd left the oil field and went to work for my best friend there in Utah. Me and my girlfriend moved down to Utah, and that's where a big majority of this really took off for me. Was he taught me everything I pretty much know to this day. And he was always there for it. He was always bad about it, wanted to push, wanted to see it happen. So we made 2,030 horsepower at Weekend on the Edge, the same day that Chris Patterson made his 34 number.
Oh, fucking Cummins, man. Always stealing the spotlight over doing mediocre stuff.
Yeah, that's what I was over here like. ain't nothing like telling somebody you made 2,000 horsepower and took third place to the guy that put a 1,400 horsepower gap on you. I said I made 2K that day, and I got a 1,400 horsepower gap put on me. Like, explain that. Took the sunshine right away.
Sounds about right. Yeah. Patterson will do that to you. You got to look out for him.
Oh, I get along with Chris really well. I like the hell out of Chris. Well, so then, I came up here to UCC last year. We took my truck to UCC the year we made 2K, so that had been 2 years ago. We put it on the fan dyno. I made like 1,700. It was like 1,707 or something that day out there.
All right, that's saucy, yeah.
It was good, and then we brought the truck back. We put more fuel to it and more nitrous. Don and April over at Flux Injectors, and they've had my back since I think 2019 when the big push really started. So that's the fuel I run in the truck. Is right now we have a nice set of big 400% overs from them, and then 2 XG 14 mil reverse pumps on it.
Okay.
So it seems that for a lot of people that's been the winning combination.
That's it. Yeah, you're in the ballpark. I mean, that sounds, eerily similar to many other builds we've talked about going into UCC this year. Now, let me ask something. As we're going through all this history, you work over at Dirty Hooker Diesel? Is that right?
Yep, I work here at Dirty Hooker.
What do you do there?
I am an engine salesman and part sales for online.
Okay. How long ago did you start on that? Because I know you had mentioned you moved to Utah for a job.
Yep. So I was in Utah for about 4 years, and then last year I went out to UCC because I had sent my motor there, and me and Evan had this wild idea of building this wild Dmax motor to try and set a goal. And so I went out there to go hang out with, meet up with Evan and see those guys and see all my other buddies. So we flew out last year for UCC.
Okay.
And, ended up just kind of hanging out in the pits with the guys at DHD. And then we hit the wall that first night. And Evan shoots me a text. He's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" I was like, "Oh, just grabbing a bite to eat real quick." He's like, "Nice. You want to come by the tent?" I was like, "Sure." Came by the tent, and they were just jamming out on the truck. I was like, "Well, hell, I'd love to jump in and help." Well, 2 days later of no sleep, we did the thing. Finally a V8 won UCC. And I was like, man, this was awesome. It was a blast. Me and Tony got to talking a little bit, and he said, "Well, come up, we'd love to have you come up for a week and hang out, we really appreciate you helping us." I said, "Absolutely." So me, my daughter, and my girlfriend, we flew out, and we were here for a week. And by the end of it, we started talking some things, and my girlfriend really loved it here. My daughter really loved it here. I actually really love it up here. And he offered me a job. And I was like, well, it would be quite the move. At least in Utah, it was about 4 hours from my family in Wyoming. Same with her family. I said, well, we decided what's another life adventure.
I love it,
Let's
man.
go on another. Let's go on a life adventure. I said, we're still young. I said, let's do it. Let's move across the country. And so we moved here in September of last year.
So you so far have lived in 3 what are commonly known as flyover states.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
All right. So you got tied up with DHD and the boys over there, the Burkhart crew. So you got to meet Tony and Tyler. You helped them thrash on the truck over UCC last year, which was there was a lot of work to be done. They definitely had their hands full, keeping it on the track and keeping her going. What I love about the DHD crew is that they never fucking give up. We have a lot of love for Tony and the boys over here. So now you're up there, you're doing engine sales. You moved all the way across the country to go do part sales and engine sales with DHD. How's it been going? You've been there since last September? Is that right?
Yep. Just since last September, we got here, and man, I love it. It has been an absolute blast for both me and my girlfriend. We both have enjoyed it. She actually works here as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so it's just been a blast. We've had a lot of fun. We've been able to do a lot of cool things. See, parts of the country that we never thought we'd get to see. We're right here on the lake. So it's been good. It's been really good for us.
I love hearing that, man. That's so cool. I love that you take big swings, right? You jump ship to go to Utah. You jump ship to go to Michigan. That's awesome, man. Usually that translates into the build. So the last we were talking about the truck, you hit the 2,000 horsepower mark. Same day that Patterson hit 3,000 horsepower, the first guy to hit 3,000 horsepower in a chassis dyno. Where did the build go from there? So the last we were talking about it, you had a 106 over an 88, I believe, and 400% injectors with dual 14 mil reverse rotation CP3 pumps. Is that correct?
So then it was an 83 and a 106, and then it had 2 industrial XP pumps on it.
Oh, okay.
And 400s. And now the build has spiraled to an entirely new truck. So the truck that I used to run, I got this truck from my buddy Zach on the way. When we were moving out here, we actually bought an enclosed trailer so that we could put all of our stuff in there. But I remember telling my girlfriend, I said, we have to make enough room because I got a load of pickup up in the trailer. She's like, what? I was like, you'll see. So actually on our way out here, he met us in Omaha with the truck. And it's a 2005 single cab. And it already had a cage on it, but other than that, it was bare. There was nothing in it.
Oh, wow.
And so we got here, and that's when the work began, because we knew UCC was the plan. And so we started the build in September, and we got smoke in the pipe first thing this morning. So this morning's the first time the truck's been started.
Holy shit. Well, what good timing. I love that we called
That's
today.
what I said. I said, so it's got a full comp hooker in it, built by Evan here. He spec'd out the whole build. We had the idea of it, and it still has the flux injectors in it, and now it's got the XG reverse rotation pumps, SoCal billet crank in it, aluminum rod motor. It should make some steam. We have some plans for it, so I'm supposed to be leaving Friday to head down to Fire Punk. We're gonna go get on the dyno and go get some testing in before we head to UCC. Get some last minute testing in, along with last minute fire up.
Okay, awesome. Wow, that's exciting, man. So I love that you're taking a long trip down there over Memorial Day weekend too to kind of really get yourself prepared. Are you going to get any test hits out at a track or be able to hook to a sled before UCC?
We're hoping at least get some test hits on a track. We have been talking to the guys down there. We got to have some ideas on some tracks that we can at least run over to, get 60 foot, get the 60 foot just figured out, get the 4-link figured out. Cause I've never had a 4-link truck before. So a lot of this is still, it's a big learning curve. We kind of have it. We have a good idea, rough setup on it. It's just going to get it fine dialed. And as far as hooking to a sled, no. Sled pull experience for me is 0.
What, they hired you at DHD and you don't know how to pull? What the fuck? I thought that was the first question on the application over there.
You know what? I think he kind of waived that question for a second, but I think day by day he kind of second guesses that decision. Fuck, I should have asked him. But that's where I'm blessed is, Tony's just over here the other night. We were talking about sled, like, I don't know what I'm doing, or just set up the sled pole, and he's just like, you got to do this, 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 and this. And all that's done now, and he's like, cool, we're good. He's like, I will be right there to help you out.
Yeah.
So that's been cool. He, having his wisdom, especially with the sled. That's the kicker. We're going to wad some shit up probably.
Yeah, I think you'd be hard-pressed to find a better coach around sled pulling than Tony Burkhart. I think you got a good one in your corner there. And it's not like the guy doesn't know shit about racing either, but I take it from the talk here, you have a little bit more experience on that 8th mile run.
Yep. The drag strip I have a little more experience in, and then the old dyno racing. I got a lot of experience on that Superflow dyno racing.
Yeah, do you think that gives you an advantage? Do you think that's something that maybe you could leg up yourself? This is your first time competing at UCC, correct? I didn't miss your name on the schedule from last year or have a dropout or anything?
Yep, so this is my first year competing at UCC.
What are you most nervous about?
The dyno.
Really, that's where all your experience is. That's your background, man. That's the easy one for you.
There's a number on that dyno that I really want to take, and the setup we have on the truck, mathematically proven on other vehicles, can do it. And
are you calling 3,500 horsepower right now?
I'm calling that I want to be the first V8 to make 3,000.
All right, the first V8 to make 3,000. I suppose that's being, the brightest love bug. I'm just teasing. It'll be a huge feat. It'll be a huge feat if you could actually break the 3,000 in a Dmax. I believe that would make you the first one in the country, first one I know of. Maybe there's somebody out there. Hey, guys, if you're out there and you've made 3,000 horsepower and I haven't heard about it with a Dmax, what the fuck? Send us a message over at Fans of Diesel Performance Podcast Facebook group, or just message me. I'm Paul at Dmax Tuner. I'd love to know more about it. But for you, Morey, 3,000 horsepower, you think you got the recipe dialed in. You think the math is good, and you should be able to hit 3,000 on the horsepower. I've seen a lot of shit go wrong on that dyno, and UCC just seems to really bring out all the gremlins. If something's going to go wrong, what's it going to be?
Well, we are on factory. I'm still on a factory ECM, and it's an LOI truck. It has a FICM on it still.
Okay.
So, in my opinion, if there's something that's gonna fuck fail, it's gonna be that FICM. It's just never like I think I have 3 spares in our dyno cart to go up to the dyno with, because I'm probably gonna reach up and hit the starter and it's just gonna crank. Be like, well, they went that FICM. Let's grab another one.
Yeah, that's funny. A lot of guys do go to a standalone unit. there's a couple of different options out there now. I believe there's a Bosch controller and a Mototech unit and some other standalone ECUs that guys are doing programming with. Why'd you stick with the factory ECU? I know it's a price jump to go into a standalone, but I mean, with how much money you got wrapped up in the truck now, I can't imagine it was a make or break.
No, it definitely was. The price on that was kind of it was more so, I guess, had we done a standalone, I don't think we would have been able to compete this year then if we would have done that. So we kind of just said, let's test it. Let's just find out. I mean, and the worst that's going to happen is that it doesn't do it, and we collect the data we need, and we try again.
Yeah.
We collect all the data we need to get off of it, and you know what? It doesn't work. All right, well, let's start saving the money up, and let's start getting it figured out.
Sure. Well, I mean, that's when you start selling sponsorships, right? I mean, you got your hood that you could sell, the windshield, the back windshield.
Yeah, I sold those ones.
You sold all the easy ones, huh?
Yep, those ones were the kicker for that. So I think it's more so just shit doesn't sound right when you start getting up over 2,000 horsepower. They just make a noise that it's just when you hear it, you're like, it shouldn't sound like that.
I don't think people really understand how insane it is to be at this level. How loud the trucks are, how violent the trucks are, what 2,000, 3,000 horsepower, 2,000, 3,000 foot-pounds of torque feels like, I think is pretty unimaginable to most people driving around at 300, 400, 500 horsepower. Just the idea of what that amount of power feels like underneath you is one thing. But then to hear it, you're absolutely right. You're running such big injectors that I imagine it's not even atomizing the fuel. If you were like at a stoplight or something, right? It's just dropping droplets of fuel into the cylinder. So the sound that it makes, the way that it feels, the way that it, I don't want to say knocks because that's not the right word, but I don't know another word to better describe that kind of clatter that they get when they're built to do so much.
Yeah, when you start getting that thing up in RPM and you're at 3,800 RPMs and chargers are just barely starting to light and you're starting to get on the spool jet and it starts coming up and you just know that you have 4 big kits getting ready to just take you from 4,000 RPMs to, 5,800 just like that. I mean, I think they said Ziegler's run was 1.8 seconds.
Yeah, that sounds right.
And 15 pounds of nitrous, or it was 13 pounds of nitrous, I think was consumed, or 18, something crazy in that small little window. And you're sitting in the truck just basically hanging on a truck that's not going anywhere.
Yeah, that's it, man. They call it spray and pray for a reason,
Yeah. And so we got, we've taken the safety implementations for that. I got fire suppression in the truck. We got some tractor weights underneath the seat, put some on the floor, over the trans tunnel. And then we're running a 48 built by Firepunk in it.
Oh, really?
So, yep, Firepunk built the 48. We 48 swapped it with a Suncoast Duraflight kit. And I had RJ over at Firepunk Diesel. He built my 48 for it. So super stoked about that thing. I think, and I think Greg, the key is trying to keep the torque out of it on the 48 at that much power.
Yeah.
Which, you look at Greg A's pull of his at 3,059. I think his torque was like 3,089. Like, they kept all the torque out of it, pulling it all the way through the power curve.
Sure.
And I think that's one of the that'll be the kicker of trying to keep the 48 alive.
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong there. I know that these 48s, it's not like the 48 that came in the truck. Like these are built for abuse, right? Not to say
Yep.
they're indestructible. Nothing is. But yeah, they're built for competition with the way that you have it set up. How do you think that's going to impact your drag racing?
Good, because so we will switch the setups. We're gonna run it. We're gonna stay with a single turbo for drag racing. Try and keep it so it's not so violent on the trans or the motor. And then we'll put another single back on it for sled pulls, and then we have the big compounds, is what we're running for the dyno.
You're going to give it all the juice, huh? All the beans.
Yep, we'll bring in. I think I got 5 kits on for the dyno.
Jesus.
We got 4 mega jets, and then just a regular kind of standard Nitrous Express solenoid, and then I turned the purge solenoid into a spool jet.
Okay, I like it. You said the dyno is what you're most nervous about with the UCC weekend. What are you the most excited about?
The sled pull. Actually, I'm super excited about that sled pull. It's everybody I talk to, they've all told me, man, you sled pull once, you'll want to just keep sled pulling.
I have been shocked at the number of drag racers who have gone out and gone to their first hook and said, oh my God, this is awesome. I never thought I could have so much fun at 30 miles an hour.
Exactly. And that's all these guys keep telling me. They're like, you're going to love it.
Yeah.
You're having an absolute blast with it. So I'm actually super excited to hook to it and try it out.
Well, that's great, man. I'm really excited for this. I think this is going to be a fun one. I think you got a good crew in your corner. Now, is Tyler racing ODSS? I don't remember seeing their name on the roster for UCC.
So they are not racing ODSS. We're doing some changes with the motor on last minute still, and doing a couple other changes. So not to where we're going to get ready to bring last minute out yet. So yeah, and actually Tyler won't actually even be at UCC this year. He has his buddy's getting married that weekend.
So
I told him UCC is way more fucking important.
So
than
the
wedding,
fuck what?
That's what I said. I said UCC is way more fucking important than a wedding.
Oh my God. All right. Well, they can't all be good. But Tony will be there, right? Is Tony competing?
Nope.
It's you. You're representing DHD this year.
I am. Yep. I have,
You've been working for the company for like 6 days, and you're now representing them at UCC. What the fuck? And you've never sled pulled before. Is there a lot of pressure mounting? Am I helping make you feel really nervous about this?
Fuck yeah. I mean, I'm sitting here like, man, everybody knows where I work at. We won it last year with the truck. Fuck.
Yeah, I mean, all of the judgment in the world is going to be placed on you for this. We'll all be writing messages to each other, watching your every movement, and commenting on it online. No, none of that's true. The great thing about UCC is that the competitors that are there, even if they won't publicly admit that they don't like each other, they will always be so kind and nice and polite and helpful to each other. So all the competitors are going to be great, and all the pit crews are going to be fucking awesome, and all the fans just want to see shit go fast or shit blow up. So if you could do one of those two, they will love you. And I think everybody knows the difference between you and Tyler Burkhart. So I don't think you're going to have any confusion there. Does your truck look the same as Tyler? What was Tyler's? Was it Last Minute Hooker?
Yep, Last Minute Hooker was the truck Tyler pilots.
Yeah. Okay.
No, my truck is nothing of the theme of Dirty Hooker.
How sweet would it be, though? I got this really cool sticker from Dirty Hooker Diesel last year of two persons posing in a way.
Posing
That's enough.
happily.
That's enough words. There were two
Happily in a way.
persons posing
Yep.
in a way. What if we got that across the hood of your truck? Is that something you would be okay with? Would your girlfriend still live with you?
Oh, absolutely. She would just walk up and she'd be like, "You're an idiot."
Roll her
she'd just
eyes and
walk
be like,
off.
"You're an idiot." That's how you know you got to keep her. Yeah, she's totally
she'd be
comfortable
like-
telling you how stupid you are. Yeah, okay.
Oh yeah, she is completely comfortable telling me how dumb I am. when all this started, she just looked at me and she's like, "Yep, you're an idiot." She's like, "Well, let's do it then."
That's awesome,
I'm like,
man.
"Yep, you're an angel." She did say, she's like, "When UCC is over, we're gonna pump the brakes for a little bit though, and we got some other things that we want to go do." I'm like, "All right."
Yeah, it's called a ring, motherfucker. She's still a girlfriend. Fix that shit. What, you think you're going to do better? You think you're going to find
You and
somebody out there
everybody
better?
else.
What the fuck?
I think just today you're the fourth fuck person to tell.
What does
tell me
that
that.
tell you? It's kind of like the universe is screaming at you to buy this poor girl a ring. I haven't even met her. I know she's a sweetheart. She puts up with you, who I met today, so you know I know a lot about this situation. Yeah, man. This is all the same speeches I have for everybody else I know who's not married. I figure if I have to be this miserable, the rest of you got to join me too. So
We all got to join in and
that's it, man.
hop on the train.
That's it. Let's go down this fucking this legal trap together. Don't worry about it. Eyes closed, feet
He's like,
first.
Just fucking run into it head first.
That's it, man.
Close your eyes and take off running. It'll be all right. You'll get there.
Maury, I'm so excited to see you compete at UCC this year. Before we let you go today, who do you want to give a shout out to?
Obviously, my girlfriend putting up with all of this, putting up with me, putting up with the late nights, never being home. She never bitches about it, man. She'll shoot me a text at 2 a.m, making sure I'm okay. If she knows when she wakes up and I'm not there, she'll bring me a bag of clothes so I can shower here at the shop, get cleaned up for the day. I can't thank her enough.
You're right about that.
Obviously, DHD, they instantly jumped behind my corner, took a leap of faith on hiring me, getting us here. Paul McClure, he was the owner of Interstate Diesel. He's who taught me everything I know. I can never repay him for the knowledge he gave me and the support he's given me forever.
Never
And
been a
then
bad
plus-
Paul in history. This just continues to prove it. Keep going.
Just that, dude, that's fair. Flux Diesel too, man. They want to see me succeed just as bad as anybody else. I mean, April and Don are not only great products, but just amazing people. Amazing people. Pure Diesel Power, Garrett over there, Extra G Performance, Lyle Richmond, Dominic Ferrante. Everybody who knows Dominic, everybody knows what Dominic does. He's who keeps the truck turning in the right direction. Fire Punk, their trans in the truck is awesome. Kind of put me on the spot. I'm sure I'm forgetting some names. I know I'm forgetting some names. DPC Customs, Damon Perry over there, he's definitely helped me out a lot. Great group of people. Everybody behind the truck, man. I cannot. The truck wouldn't be where it was. I'm just the person that had the idea. All these people helped make my dream a reality.
That's so cool. I can feel that one from the bottom of your heart, Maury. I really appreciate it. I'm really excited for you. I wish you the best of luck. Listeners, if you guys want to know more about this, go check out the DHD Facebook page. Maury, are you on social media? Can they follow you anywhere?
I am, yep. It's under, I'm on Instagram. It's LOI_Morey. Go over there. I actually have yet to release what the truck looks like. Everything people have seen is all black and white.
Well, quit teasing our dicks and put some pictures out there.
I've been keeping it a secret, man. I do plan on revealing it this week.
It's a rainbow paint job, isn't it?
So,
just tell the truth.
You know what? Hey.
That'd be so fucking cool. I would laugh so hard.
I would laugh hard too, but nope, fuck that. It's
DHD. You got to go with the DHD colors of like magenta and 1980s pink. That's the only option. Everything else is just foolish. I'm just playing.
Everything else would be foolish. I mean, I promise you, at UCC, you will know where the fucking truck is.
Oh my God, I'm excited. Morey, thank you so much for joining us today. This has been an absolute blast. You've been a pleasure to have on the show.
Hey, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Not a problem. Listeners, stay tuned. We got more UCC competitor interviews and other cool stuff going on. Also, I'm going to make the special announcement since Chris isn't here. I'll do this one at the bottom of the show. Next episode, I'm reminding my producer right now to remind me to do it at the top of the show. Dmax Tuner, we're going to do a live trans build on Saturday at UCC. So if you're going to UCC right around midday, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, we are going to do a live build at the Dmax Tuner build, a live trans build at the Dmax Tuner booth. We're right behind AMSOIL. Come find us. Come check it out. We're going to have our trans builder on site doing it. Chris and I are going to be there doing a live podcast presentation while he's doing the build. So we'll be able to interview our trans builder, talk all about it, and of course we'll go down and see all of the awesome competitors like Morey and everybody else who's going to be at the show. Thank you so much for listening. This has been Paul Wilson with Diesel Performance Podcast. Thanks for joining us today, guys. This has been Paul Wilson.
And Chris Emke.
Make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll talk to you again soon. What, they hired you at DHD and you don't know how to pull? What the fuck? I thought that was the first question on the application over there.